Remember when every car that came through your shop had a fuel filter on the underside of it and it was an easy thing to replace? Well, they've gone away. If you notice a lot of late model vehicles on the underside, there's no fuel filter. So what's going on? The one thing that has changed, well, it's that service station on the corner. Those tanks underground are typically 15 to 20 years old now. They've been changed out recently. Also, they're lined, so that corrosion and other stuff on the side of the tank getting into the fuel rarely happens now. Also, the pump itself, there's more filters inside of it. There's a filter inside the body of the pump. There's typically a filter also in the hose going to the vehicle. This eliminates a lot of the debris that can get inside a fuel tank. Also, the fuel pump has changed. It used to be the strategy of catching the debris and particles after it's gone through the fuel pump and before it reached the injectors on the engine and the fuel rail. Today, it's about protecting the pump, and typically what protects it is a sock-type filter that is inside the tank that is typically changed when the fuel pump is changed. This filter can filter out some pretty small particles and prevent them from getting to the fuel rail, and it also protects the pump itself. It's not to say it's a perfect world now, since vehicles have plastic gas tanks and debris and other things can't get in to damage the fuel pump. It can. Most of all, you have the human element of a customer leaving the fuel cap off the vehicle. This is really bad with some fleet vehicles. On some high mileage vehicles, it's the filler neck. It's typically made of metal and it can corrode. Also, it's in the wheel well of the vehicle, so it's going to corrode even faster than any other piece of metal on the vehicle, and this can create a path that the debris can get into the tank with. When it does come time to replace that fuel pump, take a look at the tank itself. Before you remove the pump, look at the top of the tank. Clean it off before you open it up. Make sure that there's not the chance that dirt, debris, and other things can get into the tank when you pull the pump out. Once the pump is out, look inside the tank. Make sure that there's nothing inside the tank, dirt, debris, that could damage the brand new pump. And if there is, make sure that you pump all the gas out of the tank and clean it out professionally or with the best methods you have possible at your shop. The next thing to remember when you're replacing the fuel pump, if you have the option to use a module, do it, because those typically come with a brand new sock filter at the bottom of the fuel pump itself. Also, it makes it a little bit easier because a lot of these pumps have the fuel sender unit on it. Trying just to replace the pump itself, well, you could have issues with cracked plastic, other lines inside of the pump itself that could be damaged, and you're going to have a comeback. But most of all, if a fuel pump has gone bad on a vehicle, make sure you diagnose what has happened. Is it the connector at the pump? Is it a restriction in the fuel rail? Is it an issue with the injectors? Make sure the brand new fuel pump, it's going to have a long, long life. I'm Andrew Markel. Thank you very much.